Hello viewers, today we'll be looking at the process of creating a pencil skirt with vent. This is a sample skirt from a client and she needs this recreated with some changes and size adjustments. First, we need to plan our work. Draw out the design so that we can refer to or make changes if need be. It does not have to be accurate or exact, but to just get the idea of it. Label as required. This is the skeleton version of the design details of what we need. Next, write down the measurements you're working with. Add the ease and seam allowances as needed. Very basic measurements you need to make a skirt are waist, hip and length measurements. These are the design details. Now let's go into pattern making. Some people are very comfortable working on the actual fabric, but I prefer to work on pattern paper so that if there are any mistakes or adjustments required, I can correct it along the way. This will avoid costly mistakes, especially when your client has provided the fabric. This is the front pattern of the skirt. I've added half an inch seam allowance on top to attach the waistband. There is the dart. I've added 1 inch extra to the waist measurements to cater to the 1 inch dart I'll be adding, as well as 1 inch seam allowance. You can choose the seam allowance that suits you, like half an inch or so. I wanted to give my client the option to open up the skirt of what if she needs more room. 2 inch hem allowance was also added here. We'll be doing blind hemming here so that 2 inch will not be visible but will give a good structure. Also, do note that the front piece will have to be cut on the fold. Similarly, I have made the pattern for the back pieces as well. These are the pieces I've cut so far: in front, back right and back left. On the back right side, I've marked a slant along the center seam. This is required so that when we stitch the vent, it does not hinder the movement of the fabric and the fabric does not jut out. This cut will allow easier folding of the inner seams for a cleaner finish. I have added 2 inch seam above the vent and half inch seam at the side of the vent also. The left back is slightly different such that the vent is slightly bigger than the right to fold over. Everything else is the same. I have given the zipper 1 inch seam allowance as well. Now my front and back pieces are ready. Here I am making the pattern for the pocket. Actually, this does not have to be to the point. You can roughly cut out directly on the fabric as well. This is like an inseam pocket but is attached to the top of the skirt. So it takes a rectangular shape with a slight curve at the bottom. You can either measure how much you want or just eyeball it. Now let's get all the things ready. Like you need the fabric, the matching thread, zip, hook and the buckle. Now let's get started. If you have added all the seam allowances, you can place the pattern directly and cut along it. If you have not added the seam allowance to your pattern, you make sure you add in your seam allowances using a tailor's marker or chalk to actually put in all your seam allowances in place before cutting. For the front part, be sure to double fold the fabric. You have to pin the fabric in place, trace it out and cut it. You have to mark the dart points, add the notches where necessary for the darts, the pockets, the start and the ending of the pocket, etc. So that when you're attaching your fabrics together, you won't have inconvenience. For the back pieces, you have to cut it on single fold. You can lay out both pieces and cut accordingly. This will help you in planning the layout and maximize the fabric usage. Now all the pieces are ready for stitching. We will continue in the next video. Thank you for watching. Do like, share and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.